This is the championship game in the Big 10 Conference. A precious trophy with a long tradition to battle for here. The kickoff team is out there, and here we go. A conference championship on the line right now. We'll take the return and try to get some better field position. They stop at the 19. Good job by the coverage team. So the USC Trojans offense comes on the field first today. And it comes down to this. After a brutal regular season schedule, all these teams have poured into it. And now one final showdown, Kirk. And one of these teams walks off this field tonight as conference champions.
Well, if you talk to these coaches, and especially the players, Chris, you get the sense that this game means a lot. Opportunity to become conference champs. And also, you win this game, who knows how it can impact you that next step into the postseason. So let's see who the better team is and who's going to become the conference champ.
A big moment early in this championship game. Third down coming up. Out of the gun now on third down. Oh, it's picked off. What a play. Look out, he's in the clear. He'll be taken down, but after a good return.
Well, that is a tough way to start this game for this offense, throwing an interception on their first drive. Big thing now is you go to the sideline, talk to the offensive coordinator, make a couple adjustments, come back and play with confidence next time you get the ball.
And it's a bunch formation. They open the conference championship game with a pass. A little bit too much air on that throw by the junior quarterback. Getting set. Here's second down. Caught behind the line. It's Turner. There's a loss after the completion. That's a good play by the defense. And he'll drop back here on third down. Fires it to the wideout. Pop over the middle. It's Turner. They bring him down, but a solid gain moves the football to the 24 and a first down. Back to throw again. Lets it fly to the wideout. Oh, can you believe it? He dropped the ball. Don't see that often from this excellent receiver. He's going to bring out second down. From the shotgun now, here's a handoff inside. Tackle made after just a short gain. Not going to be easy here. Backed up a long way to go for a first down. Drops back, needing a third down completion here. Makes the catch. Can he get in? And he's down at the 3-yard line. Buckeyes pick up enough for a first down here. On the ground, trying to punch it in for the score. He fights in for the score. Touchdown, Ohio State.
Chris, I know the back's going to get a lot of attention for this touchdown, but I was focused on the offensive line. You had 5 guys working as one. Great communication, able to get up to that second level and open things up nicely to allow the back into the end zone.
Now the all-important extra point. And the PAT makes it 7-0 to open scoring. Kickoff team out there, they are fired up after just scoring a touchdown. He'll bring it out from his end zone. He's tackled at the 10. Not good field position to start the drive. And the Trojans offense is back out on the field. We'll see if this quarterback can shake off the interception he threw in the last possession. Quick throw complete to the tight end.
Nice play-action call here by this offensive coordinator. You can freeze those linebackers just for a split second. Usually that's going to give you enough room to be able to get that tight end behind them. And if a quarterback can make a nice tight throw like this, pick up some big yards.
Interesting play call here. Third and short inside their own 20. They want to get this drive going, or a punt could give the opponents excellent field position. And he's brought down, but not before he gets first down yardage. And the Trojans come to the line to start a fresh set of downs. And looking to throw now on first down. Snags the quick throw. And he's shoved out of bounds with the defense short of the first down marker. The offense goes 5 wide, empty backfield. Quarterback looking to throw it on second down. Moves out of the pocket. Picks up the first down and still going. Slides to avoid the big hit. And the Trojans hustle to the line to run the hurry up.
Chris, watch watch him work through his progressions here. Finds the first and the second option aren't there. By the third option, he's got to pull it down and try to pick up some positive yards, of which he did, and then he slides down to avoid the big hit.
Second down play coming up. He's hit right as he throws it. Incomplete. Challenging play for the offense. They face third and long here from their own 43. Drop him back. They're going to throw for the first down. Receiver makes the grab. They'll stop him short. The completion gained 5 yards, but brings up fourth down. And the Trojans will send their punt team onto the field. So on to kick it away, helping his team with field position. And the Ohio State offense comes back onto the field. They punch it into the end zone the last time. Let's see if this defense has made some adjustments to stop them this time.
Hat on a hat up front. Good job opening up the holes. Anytime you can get positive yards on first down, that's a win.
Second down, we're going to throw it. That one falls incomplete. Looking for a flag, doesn't get it. Brings up third down. No run it, but with the draw play, it'll be smothered right at the line for no gain. The Buckeyes will have to kick this away. It's just the first punt for this offense tonight. The coverage team able to bring the returner to the ground. And out comes the offense set to take over here. First play of the drive, they come out throwing. And he just throws the ball away there. Nobody open. Excellent coverage. Offense getting set. It's second down. And he's back to throw again after that incompletion on first down. Nowhere to go here, and the ball is knocked loose.
Well, just like running backs, quarterbacks, when they decide to pull the ball down and run, they've got to protect it. He left it out away from his body exposed, and it got knocked away. He's very fortunate he had a teammate who was able to get on top of it.
So here comes third and long, trying to overcome that sack. This is going to be really difficult. Now in third and very long, looking to throw. Running back grabs it on the screen. Defense makes the stop. The screen pass doesn't produce a first down, and now it's fourth down. They'll kick it away here. And the returner decides to signal fair catch. Okay, here comes the Ohio State offense back on the field. They were forced to punt it last time. Now they're looking to respond and add to this lead. Fighting off the defender. Tough running to avoid a loss, but just barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. Quickly behind the sticks here after the loss. Second down and 11. We're going to pass here on second down. And it's caught. He's brought down, but not before crossing midfield of the 42. It's a first and 10 play coming up for the offense. From the shotgun, drops back, looking for an open man. Quarterback finds an open target on the left side. And he gets in for the score. Touchdown, Buckeyes. Simple throw, all the yards after the catch. Explosive play by the receiver to score.
Just a dynamic, athletic playmaker. As simple as you said, Chris, just throw him the football, he makes a catch, and then all the fireworks are after the catch. And this defense just unable to corral him.
So they'll try to add to the lead now with a PAT. And with the PAT, they take a 14-0 lead. Got momentum after scoring that touchdown. Now the kickoff team out there to kick it away. He's going to try for a return from a couple yards deep in the end zone. And he stopped at the 20. Tried to make something happen, but that's good coverage there. Here's the first play of the drive now from that 20-yard line. Off the play fake, looking to throw. Makes the grab with plenty of room to run. Tackle made at the 37. That's a solid gain. Gain moves the ball to the 37. Another first down. Play fake, looking to throw. Catch is made down the middle. Tackle made. first and 10, looking to throw. And that catch is hauled in. Well, Ohio State has the lead here, Kurt. Solid performance so far, creating some separation. Here's the first quarter stats. Crucial stage of the game as we begin the second quarter. Is this one going to get out of hand? Offense getting set for a second down here to begin the quarter. Drops back from the shotgun, looking for an open man. That's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no flag, brings up third down. Looking to throw it again. Fires it to the wideout. And that one's picked off. What a play.
Well, we're just here in this first half, and this defense is all over. That's their second interception. Good job of pressuring the quarterback, making him uncomfortable, and forcing the ball into coverage.
Okay, here comes the Ohio State offense back on the field. Remember, last time they scored a touchdown. Can they keep clicking here, or the defense come up with a stop? Going absolutely nowhere would be a loss of a play. So from the 21-yard line, it's now second and long. It's a draw to the back. That's a solid gain. Moves the ball to the 29. So a very makeable third down for the offense from the 29. Out of the gun now on third down. That's reeled in. It's Turner. Ball carrier heads out of bounds, but the pickup is good enough to move the chains. First down. They call the draw play here. The defense swarms him in the backfield. He had nowhere to run. Loses 2 yards. Offense now behind the 6 on second down. They need 12 after that first down loss. Quick catch over the middle. Defense makes the stop very close to a first down. Offense are going to keep the drive going here. Third and short now from the 44. Looking to pick up the first down through the air. This one's going to fall incomplete. Brings up fourth down. The Buckeyes will line up to punt it away. We're going to kick it away for the second time. And the returner is tackled by this punt coverage team. And the USC offense is back out on the field. They had it going on the last drive, but it ended abruptly with the interception. Let's see what they can do here. Looking to throw it on first down. And it's caught across the middle. And he will make the first down. Tackled at the 26. Looks like a man is down on the field after the last play, so we'll take a timeout. The drive stays alive with that completion for a first down. Off the play fake, looking to throw. He cannot escape. It's a sack.
Well, you got to do a better job with your fake as the quarterback. The defense did not bite at all on the play action, allowing them to continue to come after the quarterback and come up with that sack.
So from the 21-yard line, it's now second and long. Now the handoff. Slams right into a wall. They've got him for a loss. Well, a serious challenge for this offense. You don't want to be in third and long inside your own 20. How much of a risk will they take to try to pick up this first down? Running out of time in the pocket. The tight end has got it. Defense stops it short of the marker. So now it's fourth down. The Trojans will bring their punt team onto the field. Returner decides to fair catch this. Here comes the powerful Ohio State offense onto the field. They're trying to build on their lead. They were forced to punt on the last possession. Offense moving receivers around now before the snap. Off the play fake on first down. Oh, down he goes. It's a sack.
The defender did not bite on the fake at all. They were in pass rush mode the entire time.
Sack on first down. It's second down. Quarterback looking to make a play through the air. Oh, nice play by the defender. Got a hand in there to break up the pass. Third down play for this offense. Out of the gun now on third down. Quick throw to his receiver. Wide open downfield. They make the tackle, but not before he reaches the 37.
Well, this is why this guy's one of the top wide receivers in college football. It's third down. The defense knows you're probably going to go to him, and they still can't stop him from coming down with a big play.
Ending off on the draw play. And he's stopped after gaining 4 yards. So 2nd and 6. They'll keep it on the ground with the draw play. And that run produces a decent gain. So it's 3rd and short from the opponent's 28. Let's see what the play call is here. They're already in field goal range, but thinking about the end zone.
Well, that's the right call here by the offensive coordinator. Keep it simple. Just go right behind your line, but no push at all. The defense completely stops him there at the line of scrimmage.
And it sails right through the middle of the uprights. Solid kick. And that will extend their lead even further.
Chris, they get the 3 points, but looking back at it, 4th and inches. Pretty conservative call there. I really thought they would have gone for it.
So after building this big lead, they're set to kick it off. They'll return it from inside the 5. And they stop him at the 23. That's solid coverage. And here comes the USC offense back on the field. The last drive, they came up empty, had to kick it away. Can they come up with something here? They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's running out of time here. That ball is incomplete. An aggressive deep shot on 1st down. 2nd down and 10 after the incompletion from the 23. They look to throw it here on 2nd down. Pass ball is incomplete. There was a lot of contact. No penalty. Brings up 3rd down. They come to the line. A long way to go for the 1st down, but needing this crucial conversion right now. On 3rd down, he drops to throw. Going for a big play downfield. That's the 3rd pick tonight thrown by this QB. And he's wrapped up after a solid return.
Well, cold weather always seems to make life more difficult in the passing game. You can see this quarterback really wants that one back. That's a tough break on this interception.
Here comes the Buckeye offense onto the field. Had to reluctantly settle for a field goal last time out. Really want to find the end zone here. It's a short completion to the big tight end. He is a load to bring down. Finally, a strong tackle by the cornerback gets him. Quarterback wants to throw it on 2nd down. The receiver grabs it. Good enough for 1st down yardage. Looks like a player is down injured at that last play. We'll take a timeout while they check it out. Buckeyes are in the red zone. Here's a throw underneath to the back. Defense reacts quickly. A very short gain on the play. Here comes a crucial 2nd down play. Every yard tough to find down here in the red zone. And the motion by the back now forces the defense to adjust. Makes the catch, but the defense breaks in the ball, and it's a short game. It's the 2-minute timeout. We've got a blowout developing here. Offense moving to a bunch formation. Third down play here out of the shotgun. And the junior quarterback inaccurate that time. Threw it behind the receiver. And they will try out the field goal team here. The field goal is good. And they add to their lead. So after adding to this big lead, they'll set to kick it away. Looks like he'll try to make a play with the return. And he stopped at the 20. Tried to make something happen. That's good coverage there. So the first play of the drive here coming up. Less than 2 minutes left on the clock. Handoff from the shotgun. The gain is 3 yards. Brings up a 2nd down and 7. And the Trojans come to the line with a hurry up. We're just short of the first down marker. Going to pick up the 3rd and short through the air. Throws to the tight end. Oh, he makes the catch. That's a big gain before he goes out of bounds. It'll move the sticks. More than enough for a first down. On 1st and 10, they'll look to throw it. Physical defending. That one falls incomplete. Brings up 2nd down. After the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 42. He's back to throw again on 2nd down. He's going to take off here. Quarterback gets down to avoid the big hit. So the offense getting set. This is not where you want to be against this defense. 3rd and long. Drop him back. They're going to throw for the first down. He makes the grab. They finally make the tackle all the way down to the 32. Timeout is called to talk strategy late in this close game with halftime approaching. Off the play fake, looking to throw on 1st down. Pass caught. He shreds the tackle. Heads out of bounds after a solid gain. The offense finally producing here. Sets up a 1st and 10. Quarterback pulls the ball. It's a keeper.
It's a nice game by this offense. This quarterback has such a good feel for running the option. Whether it's handing it, keeping it himself, or pitching it, puts a lot of pressure on the discipline of this defense.
He'll hand it off. Ball carrier brought down at the 4. Offense in great scoring position here. And a player is down injured after that last play. We'll take a timeout while they check him out. Now a chance to cut into this lead before halftime. It's 1st and goal. Give it back again. And he goes nowhere. Stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. So the offense looking to be efficient here. Not much time remaining before the end of the half. They make the tackle there, but a penalty marker is on the field. Let's see what that's about.
What I always love to see on these offsides call is when they're always pointing at each other. You know, he did it. I didn't do it. Put it on him. Well, we know this time it's on the defense. They're going to make the right call.
Pressured and dropped back at the 8-yard line. So a timeout is called to talk strategy. Maybe time for 1 or 2 more plays before halftime. Pass rush closing in. And it's caught. Touchdown, USC. Conference championship pressure, they just grind away. Beautiful execution in that methodical drive.
Man, I can't think of a better stage than the conference championship to put together a drive like that. Moving the sticks, executing along the way, avoiding any turnover potential, and coming up with a touchdown. Great job.
Now the try here for the extra point. And the PAT is good. So an important touchdown just before halftime. Not much time for the opposing offense to try to answer before the break. And here's the return from inside the 5. And they get him down in what will be the final play of this first half. And that will do it for the first half here. Kevin Connors now has our halftime update.
Chris, a Big 10 championship game that's already had its share of stirring moments. And this has just been a passing clinic, really, by both offenses. They've effectively stretched these defenses, forcing the secondaries to cover every blade of grass, and they've still racked up big plays. Man or zone, pick your poison, or lay some blame at the feet of those pass rushers who can't do anything against the maulers on that offensive line. And with that, let's send it back to Chris and Kirk and the exciting conclusion of the Big 10 championship.
The Trojans will kick it off to begin the second half. Fields it just outside the goal line. And he stopped at the 20. Tried to make something happen, but that's good coverage there. Here comes the powerful Buckeye offense back onto the field. First play of the second half is a handoff. Breaks one tackle, gets brought down, but picks up some decent yardage. Now it's second down here. From the shotgun, drops back, bringing pressure. On the run, he's looking deep. They try a downfield shot. That's a good effort there, but now it's third down. Looks like a man is down on the field after the last play, so we'll take a timeout. So from the 28-yard line, it's a third and manageable here. Looking to pick up the first down through the air. The short completion of the tight end. Brought down at the 33. That's good enough to move the sticks. The Buckeyes lining up here on 1st and 10. And now they'll run it on the draw. Stopped right there at the line. No gain. Important second down play coming up. Offense looking to throw the ball. Makes the catch downfield.
Anytime you have a chance to get this wide receiver isolated, to get the ball in his hands, you do it.
They try to sneak it for the first. The Buckeyes moving quickly down the field here. He hands it off from the gun. Eludes a tackle.
Hey, it's a great job of this defense containing the running game. But if I'm calling the plays, I'm not abandoning the running game just yet. I think it's important to have some sense of balance. So throwing and running is essential. Stick with it.
And the ball is handed off out of the shotgun. That's a nice wrap up there by the junior. Big moment here in this championship game. Third and short on the 8th play of the drive. Back in motion now. It's third down. Quarterback in the shotgun. A bullet, but it's incomplete. Brings up fourth down. Buckeyes will bring their punt team on the field now. Looking to flip the field here. And the punt will bounce and roll out of bounds. And the Trojans' offense is back out on the field. They'll test the right side here. Breaks an open space. They'll tackle him at the 27. The Trojans looking to use the up-tempo offense here.
This offense is known for that up-tempo approach. The defense has got to make their calls and get adjusted and ready to play.
Quarterback looking to throw it on second down. Receiver looks it in. It's complete. He has first down yardage at the 46. No huddle here for the offense. First down, looking to throw the football. Finds his target, and it's complete. They stopped the receiver, but that's a solid gain in that play. Keeping it on the ground here. And the Trojans looking to keep this drive rolling. Looks like a player is down injured at that last play. We'll take a timeout while they check it out. First down and 10. Takes the handoff and he'll head left. Going absolutely nowhere. It'll be a loss in the play. Defense swarms him on that first down play. Now they come up 2nd and 15 after the loss. Second down, we're going to throw it. He's got it in the open. They get him down, but not before he moves the football to the 32. Offense will set up on 1st and 10. From the shotgun, he's probing the secondary. And the quarterback finds the tight end for the completion. And this one goes nowhere. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, a lot of times you see teams go up-tempo when they've got momentum that comes off for a big game. These guys are struggling, and yet here they go, going back to old reliable, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage again.
Third down. The offense desperately needs a conversion here, trailing in the third quarter. Dropping back, looking to throw for the first down. And it's incomplete. He just missed his target, overthrowing it. So on fourth down, the decision is to trot out the field goal team. Oh, and he missed it. The kick is no good. After the miss, still losing by 13.
That's a missed opportunity for some points here. The way they were moving the football, I thought maybe a touchdown at the very least, 3 points, but instead, he shanks it.
And the Ohio State offense comes back onto the field. They had to punt the ball last time. Now they're looking to add points, build on this lead. They've got him after a 7-yard gain, so 2nd and 3. Send the back in motion. Off the RPO, caught to the right. And the play is good enough for a first down to move the ball to the 44. That's caught. It's Turner. They make the tackle, but that pass creates a solid gain. What's the play call here on 2nd down for this offense? It's a shotgun run call. A quick juke. He'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. The Buckeyes come to the line to start a fresh set of downs. Quick throw caught on the left side. The defense surrounds him. Just a short gain on that completion. 2nd down after that previous play. From the shotgun, handoff inside. The tackle is made, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see what that's about.
Offside. Defense.
The defensive penalty is declined. Offense very happy to take the result of that play. On 1st and 10 here, looking to throw the ball. Quarterback finds a target on the right. It's complete. He's brought down at the 6. The offense will have 1st and goal right there. The Buckeyes line it up with 1st and goal. Keep it on the ground on 1st and goal. The junior able to bring him down quickly. All right, 2nd down and goal now for this offense. They'll try to run this one in. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Ohio State.
And that's another touchdown for this guy. This defense better adjust and get eyes into that backfield. He may go for a 3rd or a 4th later today.
Now the offense will go for a 2-point conversion. On the ground, trying to muscle it across the line. This time he stopped short, scored the touchdown, but doesn't back it up with a 2-point conversion. He's going to return it from near the goal line. Stop at the 22. That's pretty solid coverage there. Offense out for the first play of the drive, beginning at the 22. Play action here on 1st down. The pass rush gets home.
What a play here by this defensive line. You can get so caught up in the flashy offense of Ohio State in recent years. But let's not forget, they still play defense in the shoe and have such great history and tradition with that defensive line play.
They lose yards on 1st down, so 2nd and long from the 16. Wants to throw it. And he's going to take a shot down the left side. Another interception. Wow, that's his 4th tonight. Brought down after a short return at the 20 to snuff out the scoring threat in the red zone. First down, looking to throw the ball. Nice grab. It's Turner. Defense able to bring him down to wrap up the third quarter of play. Well, Kurt, Ohio State has the lead here after one. And they got to be feeling pretty good about things as we wrap up the third quarter. Let's review how we got here. And now entering the final period of play, is there an epic comeback in store? We're going to find out. Here we go. First play of the quarter. Offense setting up for a second down play. First down, looking for more now. Sophomore brought down after a nice run. That run picks up first down yardage, a fresh set of downs for this offense. And they'll run it out of the shotgun. There's the tackle, but first down yardage. That running play gives the offense a fresh set of downs. On first down, they'll keep their running game churning. They fought hard there, broken tackle, but brought down short of the sticks. The game makes it second and medium. Ball handed off. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. They come to the line on third down, trying to keep this drive going. Can the defense get a stop here? Out of the gun now on third down. Makes a quick catch. Buckeyes look to keep this drive moving. How aggressive do you get on 1st and 10? Shotgun formation. Here's an inside handoff. Tackle made, but the game moves the ball to 30. The Buckeyes will have 1st and 10 here. Off the play fake, looking to throw. Finds a receiver in the middle of the field. They bring him down short of the end zone, but this will set up a 1st and goal.
And they're taking shots downfield. They're just looking to pour it on right now. Still throwing the football and vertical shots to boot.
And he'll set up to throw. Looking to the end zone. Touchdown, Buckeyes! And the route is on.
How about that, Chris? The quarterback does a nice job of getting the ball out of his hands quickly, and why not? With a receiver like this who can run like that, get him the ball as fast as you can and let him do his thing.
So they'll try to add to the lead now with the PAT. And the kick is up and good. They tack on a point to their lead. So after putting up the touchdown, the kickoff team is out there to boot it away. USC, 7. And he takes this from inside the 5. Tackled at the 22. Good job by the coverage team. And the USC offense is back out on the field. This drive is important. Last one ended in an interception. Let's see if they can get it going here. Opening play of the drive, he looks right for a completion. Receiver brought down after a short pitch and catch. Offense getting set. Second down play here. Fakes the handoff. Looking to throw. Short connection to the tight end here. Nowhere to run. They'll corral him for no gain. So a very makeable third down for the offense from the 29. Can they pick up the first on the ground? That's a good effort on the run, but the defense stops him just short of the marker. 4th down now. Out of the shotgun, he hands it off. And the Trojans are going to keep this drive rolling. They trust the running back to convert on 4th down. Now let's see if they keep feeding him here. Motion by the back will make the defense adjust. Looks right for a quick completion. And he's tackled for a loss after the catch. The defense all over that one. Offense getting set up. Here's second down. And here's the handoff. Tackled behind the line. It's a loss of 2. Offense facing a 3rd and long from the 28. Got to have your pass protection in order in this play. Pre-snap motion from the receiver. Looking to throw it on 3rd and very long. Looking to make a big play downfield. Incomplete. They cannot connect on the deep ball. Down late, they'll keep the offense on the field trying to chip away at this lead. 4th down, looking to throw for it. Looking for his big tight end. Makes the catch, and that is enough for a first down. What a grab by the junior. And the Trojans pick up enough yardage for a first down. Quarterback drops back from the shotgun, looking for a receiver. The junior trying to take a shot, but overthrows his man. So second down after the incompletion. There's the snap. They'll set up to throw. Looking for his big tight end. That one falls incomplete. Looking for a flag. Doesn't get it. Brings up third down. And a player is down injured after that last play. We'll take a timeout while they check him out. Now it's third and long for this offense. Football right at midfield. Dropping back, looking to throw for the first down. Looking for his big tight end. That one is incomplete. The defender was right there, and it brings up fourth down now. The offense stays on the field, down multiple possessions. Easy choice. Needs a completion here on fourth down. Throws it to the right. And that is interception number 5 as the nightmare performance continues.
Just when it looked like they might make this a one-score game, the quarterback gives it back to the defense. The climb just got steeper, and they're running out of time here in the fourth quarter.
Okay, here comes the Ohio State offense back on the field. Can they keep it going? They mixed the run and pass beautifully in the last touchdown drive. The defense all over it. They stop him right at the line. Second down play coming up for this offense. Pounding away with the run game. Tackled after a 3-yard gain, so it sets up a 3rd and 7. It's the 2-minute timeout as the offense tries to put the finishing touches here on a lopsided victory. Trying to flex the ground game here. Running back takes the handoff. And the defense smothers him for no gain. The Buckeyes will have to kick it away. About to punt for the 4th time tonight. Punt lands at the 6, but heads into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the first play of the drive now from the 20-yard line. Here comes a first down pass attempt. Goes to his right side there for the completion. They bring him down, but an explosive play by this offense. Big game.
Chris, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's only his second catch of this entire game. Boy, this defense has done an amazing job of keeping him in check. Let's face it, this guy's as good as anybody in the country. Big-time playmaking ability, but they've taken him out of the game. I think it's a big reason that they have a nice lead.
Game moves the ball to the 43. First down coming up. Here's the snap, looking to throw. Lets it go quickly. That's knocked away. Defense makes a nice play. It's incomplete. Here's the second down play. He's looking to throw. This time, a completion. They make the stop, but he's in enemy territory now. First down to the 45. Caught quickly. That's a nice wrap up there by the junior. Getting set. Here's second down. Handoff here from the shotgun. And a decent gain there before the defense brings him down. It's always a special year, but after all the work you put in, you can call yourselves champions of the Big 10. And now with the playoff spot locked up, spotlight gets even brighter. Going to find out where they're going to be playing as they continue to pursue a national championship. And that's going to wrap it up. For Kirk Street, I'm Chris Fowler. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.